Cheers to double distribution and some potential action on this Tuesday retail trading team. This is Mastro coming to you live from Puppet Show Central with your routine briefing. And to answer your question, Mr. Juiceball, I think they did. I got short at 26.50, so they may have actually sent out that email to buy the dip here. So we'll see. 41.20 has been a significant support according to the powers that be, so we'll see if that holds. As it stands, I got a signal to sell here, and Fabio can only be wrong so many times before getting a win, so we'll see what happens there. In any case, we're going to begin today's video by starting with that latest warm-up, looking at maybe what to expect here, as I'm sure we're all pretty jaded and waiting for that buy the dip crowd to come in at any second, but kind of we can figure out what the major levels are today. So starting in that warm-up document, you can see very much similar to what we've been seeing, that overnight they sell it, and usually they've been coming in and buying the dips. We haven't seen that yet, but we're still kind of looking for it. I'm not really going to harp too much on it because until that pattern breaks, I don't think we should get too excited about these dips. But in any case, we do have that down inventory and that net short, that down movement and that net short inventory. So we'll see what happens. We have that open test drive, so that 41.45 level is now a really good vantage point. If they pop that, it's likely that we do see that buy the dip, and today, heck, maybe it'll be sustained and we'll go a little higher. So we'll see. As it stands now, we have that double distribution look, as you'll see on the TPO, and we can hope for maybe some trend for today. So I'm going to go ahead and update this IBR, which I have not done yet. So it's 40 to, let's see, 40 to 25. It's going to be another 15-point IBR, so nothing too dramatic so far. Okay, so I got that updated. This document is available in the description of this video. The TPO is likely to change, especially throughout the day, and I'll also add any significant levels as the day progresses. So that's our warm-up document, so we can hop right into the macro chart, see what we got going on here. Okay, so still kind of junky. I mean, you can just see the number of trend lines and other obstacles that we have hanging out on this macro chart. Right now, we're kind of testing the underside, or the top side rather, of that trend line coming from those March lows. So we'll see how we react here. Once again, that 20 level right about here has been expected by the FinTwit gods to be decent support. So we'll see what happens here. You can see yesterday we had that swing low put in, but then the day before rather, and then yesterday did create that swing high. So we have some interesting activity around that trend line, which comes from the top here of August. And yeah, so I'm watching that now that we're below it. It's important to see how we react. And I think that those two candles, the prior 2-day candles for SPY, are going to act as a nice little supply zone. And again, I'm watching that 41.45 level on the ES intraday for the pivot. So 41.45 ES pivot, was that correlate to on the SPX? That correlates to 41.25 for the SPX pivot. So that's what we'll be watching there. In terms of volatility, really not seeing anything too crazy yet. So until we start hanging out above this 20.05 level and building time and volume, making higher highs, I think that the dip buying regime may very well rear its ugly head once again. Right now, we're actually seeing that divergence where we have made a lower low in the market, yet that volatility has not picked up to make a higher high. So today, the level on the VIX is 20.05 on the upside. And then obviously, if we start to sell off, making new lows, that will probably correlate to a breach of that 41.45 level, and again SPX pivot 41.25. So really the main level I think to remember for today is that SPX 41.25 level. So if we want to look at the TPO, get a little more granular look here, you can see we're popping into this demand zone here. So this is from the early April distribution. You can see it goes all the way back to the middle of the month, and we just keep cutting into it more and more. So once we get below that, I think about 41.10, 4100 is obviously psychologically important. So perhaps there is some type of reaction there yet. I really think that it comes down to that 41.10 to 15 area, and once we break that, I think you can see that continued sell. How low can we go? That remains to be seen, but I think we could pretty quickly get past that 80. So 80 is obviously the first area of support. Yet I think once we get through that, we can pretty quickly start moving through these levels. And really, the ultimate destination I'd be looking at would be this cluster here to clean up just kind of the remainder of the ugliness from that TPO. And yes, our friend Juiceball has graciously pointed out we do have an SPX gap about 15 points lower, which will correlate obviously to that 41.10 to 15 level. So excellent. Thank you for pointing that out, Mr. Juiceball. That will be helpful for kind of watching a specific level as we pop into the remainder of that demand zone. So yeah, I mean the trend is definitely looking like it's down. You can see overnight we got two poor highs. You got some single. Again, that really dramatic bearish action in the overnight session. So we're just kind of watching to see if it continues through today. So really, I think the best way to play it is obviously, I mean, obviously you can keep buying the dips. That's worked for 4 weeks straight. Yet if you were playing in the camp of the rational trader, I think you have to at least wait for. Obviously, not trading advice, blah blah blah. I think the level that we at least have to wait for is going to be that gap that OJ mentioned, or excuse me, Mr. Juiceball mentioned at 40.90 on the SPX. I think that's a really good spot to look for a strong dip buying opportunity. Or you can just kind of play that breakout. But really, the main levels here, you can see it's this 10 to 20 area on the ES. Really, the last part of the major demand cluster, we'll say, from the beginning of the month. So this will be this 10 points here will be what I'll be watching for the rest of the day. And like I said, that 41.25 on the ES, that is the pivot. Above that, I think the bulls might get some momentum to this dip buying, and we can watch what happens around that key 55 to 65 level. So the levels are clear for sure. It's just a matter of figuring out. Agreed, Mr. Juiceball. It's a matter of figuring out if we're going to see rational traders win the day or the bot that has been buying the same levels for all month. Right now, it's looking pretty good. I mean, we are below that 30 level that we've tested. I don't even know how many times. It's a comical number of times that I can't even count, so as not to sweat. So yeah, we'll see. We'll hopefully we'll see that support become resistance, and we'll get some trend movement. So yeah, really the levels to watch. You can see in those TPO. Again, just gonna say it one more time. 3 levels for me. So one's a zone. So we'll say two levels. The zone of 41.10 to 41.20 on the ES, and then very simply that 41.25 pivot on the SPX, above bullish, below bearish. So that is what I'm seeing. And once again, just really what's also important for me is this VIX chart. If we can pop above that 20.05 and get moving, I think that lends to the possibility of a trendy move. If we get rejected, it's that divergence that correlates to bullishness in the market, and you might see the opposite. So, there's a lot of crystal balling that can go on here, which is why I'm so focused on those two areas. Once again, 41.10 to 20 on the ES, and if we want to make it both SPX and ES, or excuse me, if we want to make both of these SPX, we'll go with that juice ball number of 40. We'll say 40.92 on SPX to the downside, and then 41.25 on the upside. So. Agreed, Mr. Juiceball. That has been the trend every day. Yes. Yeah, sweating just thinking about the past several days. Fabio has not been enjoying that movement. We won't call it manipulation because that's only what salty traders say. And of course, we have this perfectly efficient market that things like that can't happen. So, but yes, it is uncanny how the patterns are the same every single day from the same levels as well as the overnight session. But who knows? Who knows? In any case, that is all the price action I have for you. I'm going to reiterate those levels in the newsletter one more time. 40.92. This is both SPX, by the way. 40.92 SPX, 41.25 SPX. Those are my two most important levels for today, and we'll see what happens. So that is all I have for you in terms of the price action and all the beautiful tape on the screen. We'll go look at the execution chart one more time as we buy the dip here. Very nice, very nice. Love to see it. yeah, so newsletter's coming out right after this. Thank you for tuning in. I will be on the Twitters at Routine Trader if you want to hit me up. I'd love to engage with you there. You can also engage and would love to engage in the comment section of this video or by just responding to that newsletter. So retailtraining.com if you haven't already signed up for that. And if you did enjoy today's content, one more ask of you, which is to please give it a like. That does help with the YouTube algorithm. So I thank you for watching. And wait, hold up. I see Dale popped in. Hey, Dale. That I did not, but thank you for that excellent fun fact, and I will get through the rest of my day by um, picturing that. So hopefully, our my bot Fabio doesn't get hit or smacked by a flying goose while on today's roller coaster for market, but we'll have to see. And until we talk again tomorrow, I hope you all stay classy and have a nice day.